Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be reacting to
pros and cons of living in Greece and why he left. Let's see, a little older video, 3 years ago, so you know, but let's see.
Hey guys, and welcome to another video. My name is Jim Pastormatsis, and today we'll be talking about the pros and cons of living in Greece.
Well, based on the name, I would have guessed Greek, but I don't know.
Very recently did
Jim is the English name, so maybe he was of Greek descent, born elsewhere, came to live in Greece, didn't like it and left. I don't know.
a video on pros and cons of living in Bulgaria, given that I've been here for 6.5 years, so make sure to check that out after the video. Okay, before we get started, make sure to also hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and hit the like button as well. Helps me out tremendously and motivates me to keep producing these videos. And guys, we have a goal of hitting 100 subscribers within the next few days, so make sure to subscribe and help me out, okay? I'm gonna try
100 subscribers, so this was like his very early
Let me
video.
see his page now.
No, well, like 2.5k. I mean, it's just, you know, not a lot, but it's not 100.
Yeah.
At least he's monetized.
start with
Right,
pros.
that's crazy. 2.5 subscribers, 160k views. Wow, good for him.
But there are positives that have negatives attached to them and vice versa, so I might mix it up a little bit. Greece has so much history, so much culture, amazing food, great people. I mean, these are just some of the highlights, right? Obviously, Greece has a super long coastline, so anywhere you are in Greece, you're not going to have any difficulty accessing, the beach and,
Yeah, I think we saw this in, wasn't it like something like you at anywhere in Greece were like 2 hours away from the coast or something like that? There was some stat like that.
Mediterranean Sea, so that's amazing.
Unless I'm mixing a country up, but I think it was Greece.
I love that about Greece. So, I come from a small northeastern city in Greece. It's called Drama. It's about 40,000 or so residents in the city and 100,000 or so in the state. So, it's a pretty small place. But I always love the fact that I could just take the car and drive for, less than an hour, and I'm on the beach. That's great, right? That's awesome. I'm considered to be pretty inland, right, for Greece. But anyways, so that's great. I love that. I love that I have that small distance from the city to the beach, right? So that's great. The Greek people are super, super accommodating. I love the service that I'm able to get in Greece. I love the fact that people speak English. And of course, that is a factor of the fact that, Greece is a very touristy place. So, lots of tourists come from all over the world, companies.
Greek.
I don't know. But if he loves the fact that people speak Greece, maybe he doesn't. I mean, if people speak Greece, what the fuck? If people speak English, yeah, because if he spoke Greek, then it wouldn't really matter, I would think.
Make very, very sure that staff in general speak English so they can accommodate everybody that comes from all over the world. I mean, we're talking about a very touristy place. Even my city, Drama, has really, really improved the whole life.
What are you talking about? He's from Greece. Of course he speaks Greek. He just said he's from city Drama. What are we talking about? Oh my God.
Last 3 to 4 years, basically every winter, Drama organizes an event called Dreamland, and basically transforms the center to this awesome place that all these people go and and visit. There's great food and all sorts of events, and popular singers come. It's a great place to be. Now, the last couple of years with COVID, it hasn't been so, and that's very unfortunate. In general, Drama has been improving basically almost right after I left. So they were waiting. They're like, "Hey, look, you left, guys. We're gonna get to work and do everything and open up great shops." And,
jokes aside, Lithuania has been improving a lot since I left too.
Yeah.
Of course, they did start improving because I left. Oh, this motherfucker left. Let's get better. No, it's just natural progress with how it happens. But that is true, of course. I'm sure if I leave Miami now, we come back 10 years later, we'd be, oh wow, Miami improved so much.
Yeah.
To be fair, even we see it improving in front of our eyes.
Open up new restaurants and do everything and. Yeah, I was there for almost, 18 years? Well, not almost, I was there for 18 years, and I love the fact that there's so much new development. There was no new construction, and I hated that, and now there's new buildings going up left and right, so I love that. I love the fact that Greece has very, very...
What does he do for a living? Look at all those screens, 8 screens, what does he need them for? Damn.
I thought that was what do you call that?
Is he trading stocks or something?
No, you know what I thought it was? A green screen. I felt like the back image wasn't real.
You think so?
I don't know.
Oh,
To me,
maybe.
why do you need all those screens?
I don't know.
Very, very heartwarming and very welcoming people. Greece has no lack of beautiful destinations. From going to the amazing islands that we have, we spent about 10 days in Zakynthos this summer. It was fantastic. We loved it there. Great, great destination. Highly, highly recommended. From all the islands you can go to, you have Thessaloniki, you have Athens, you have a bunch of different places in Greece where you can visit and really, really enjoy it. Another positive that I find is the food is amazing. I'm pretty spoiled given that my mom is a chef, but generally speaking, the food is great. So, you know, from restaurants like our local food is great. We have lots of traditional Greek food that's amazing. I love that. Obviously, fish. I'm big on fish. I love fish, and you know we have very, very tasty dishes with fish. So that's great. If you're vegan or vegetarian, I'm pretty sure you're going to have a very, very easy time in Greece, given that our menus are very vegan, vegetarian friendly. Well, the taxes in Greece have been crazy. They have been very high, and I don't need to talk about that just yet. But I think Greece has been realizing over the last few years that in order to start welcoming talent, welcoming people to the country to actually reside and stay and invest, they need to start working on the taxes. We have seen over the last couple of years, Greece has introduced different special tax regimes and flat taxes that you can pay. I'm not really going to get into deep detail about, hey, look, what exactly what's what, but they're trying to attract retirees and business people who make a lot of money, and they can pay or invest in certain assets and have much lower taxes. I think that's good in general that Greece is progressing and going that way, given that the ideology was very, very different over the last basically decade. That hey, look, you know, we want to have high taxes, we want to have free healthcare and have all those things, but they saw that talent was leaving the country, not coming, right? So they had to do something to reverse that. The cost of living is not generally bad, but given that the wages are very low and people don't pay a lot of money, I mean, look, Greece has been in crisis since 2008, and you know, I can partially understand why some business owners are not able to afford to pay a bunch.
Yeah, that was a shocker to us too, because when we did I think we actually started doing our reactions to like foods and places to visit with Greece, so that's like very first. And when I saw the prices, because I had a general idea of the incomes, of the country. So when I saw the prices, I was like, damn, it's expensive. Like for how much the people make was, I felt like it was expensive. So he's kind of saying that it is kind of expensive. Well,
I think when there's a crisis, everything is expensive, because right now we're going through a crisis.
No, but the crisis was in 2008.
No, there was a crisis in the States in 2008. We had a whole meltdown here too.
I know. I'm talking about. He's talking about the crisis in 2008. No, but
what I'm saying is that when there was a crisis, I feel like all the prices for everything went up.
Okay.
I don't understand. What do you want from me?
I was not talking about this. I don't know.
So what do you want?
I don't want anything. You said something about the crisis. I'm like, what are you talking about?
What point are you making?
No, I was saying I noticed that it was kind of expensive, and when we reacted compared to how much people make.
But at the same time, given that wages are low and taxes are high, lots of people end up leaving, and that's obviously terrible. You end up losing, for example, doctors and people like this, and obviously business people. There's good talent and good business people that are leaving and coming over to other countries just because it's not bearable there, and it's not related necessarily with the cost of living. When it comes to the cost of living, it can be unbearable if you're trying to work a couple of jobs just so you can barely live. In my opinion, you need to be paid at least 1,000 to 1,200 euros in order to live a good life. What do I mean by this? A lot of people might come in and say, 1,000 euros, 1,200 euros, what are you talking about? Like, we can make it with 700, 800 euros. I don't think that's the point, right? The point is not for you to barely or just exactly make ends meet. I think the point is for you to be able to live a dignified life where you're able to say, hey, listen, if I want to go out with my friends, I should be able to pay for my rent and live in a decent place and pay for my utilities, have some money in the bank as well. I'm not saying with 1,200 euros a month that you're necessarily going to do all that and be super happy, but I think that you need to be making at least that much so you can live a decent life in Greece. I was talking about the high taxes. Taxes in Greece are insanely high. They're not made for the average small business owner to be able to thrive. That's just terrible, right? It's the main reason why I left Greece 6.5 years ago and came here to Bulgaria. There's just no competition between the two. But obviously here, we're talking about a 10% corporate income tax and 5% of dividend distributions. In Greece, the highest income bracket can be taxed all the way up to 60%. Obviously,
Yeah, I think so, but 60%. Wow.
That's high.
Over half of your income. So you're working basically to pay the government. Over half of your income goes to the government. hold on. Let me rewind to make sure I understood him correctly.
No competition between the two. But obviously here, we're talking about a 10% corporate income tax and 5% of dividend distributions. In Greece, the highest income bracket can be taxed all the way up to 60%. Obviously...
Oh, the highest income bracket. So it's not that, like, I'm sure these, like, you know, like the millionaires or whatnot.
There's no comparison.
It's still high. It's still high, but, you know, not for... Regular people don't pay that much.
Between the two, business owners were just flooding out of Greece. They were rushing out of Greece and trying to go anywhere where it makes sense and they can keep their money. Generally, the fact that the taxes are so high, that cascades down to a bunch of different other things. So from groceries being more expensive to gas being more expensive to a bunch of things just being significantly more expensive. If you couple that with the fact that the wages are low, that makes for a pretty challenging economy. And
right, that's one thing too. I'm like, taxes are high, everything's expensive, people don't make money, so what's going on? Oh, I know what's going on. People told me in the Discord, but I'm not going to go into it.
This is why the average Greek is struggling, right? Because they need to deal with all of that at the same time, and they don't really have a lot of choice. And this is why a lot of people are leaving Greece and going to other places. So that's very unfortunate. That's why I'm not in Greece and I'm here. I mean, of course, there's other reasons as well, but this is a very significant reason why I've left. I'm going to talk about something that probably will get me in hot water, maybe not, but the fact that the military is mandatory for absolutely everybody, in my opinion, is a negative. What do I mean by this? Now, I'm not going to get in a debate about whether mandatory military...
We talked about this in one of the reactions we did. I don't know. It was America, people don't like Americans, whatever. One of those. How here, people say thank you for your service, and they appreciate that people who serve. Well, I think that's what it is. When the military personnel is looked highly upon, and people want to be in the military personnel, then you don't need to have mandatory military service. When you're being looked down upon that, oh, you military, you dumb as fuck. Then, nobody wants to be military, and you have to force regular people to go through military, which, people don't want to go through military, like, so, I think...
I wonder if they get good benefits.
I don't know. So, I don't know how people look at military in Greece, but, as I said, in Lithuania, at least back then, a decade ago, the military personnel was looked down upon, and guess what? They had to make a mandatory draft. Because, so now Lithuania does have a mandatory military service too.
Both for men and women?
No, just men.
Military is good or not, I think that's something I should...
No, not 45. No, I'm not talking about draft, I'm talking about mandatory service. Mandatory service up until 26.
Oh, that's different. Mandatory, like after they graduate, they go to service?
No. You up, like, from 18 to 26, if you're of that age, you have to serve.
If they call you.
No, well, right, it's a lottery. Yeah, if you get picked, you have to.
Like they do, like serve now, not just like.
Well, if you have an excuse, like, oh, you're in college, okay, cool. Take, you next year or whatever you graduate. Yeah.
Probably keep for another video, but the fact that somebody may build a career and do very well in life, and then having to have that on top of their head, I think is a big negative, that there's not a simple way out for people that can demonstrate that, hey, look, I have a business of a very...
Do you lose your citizenship if you don't serve?
I don't know. Again, guys, let her know.
And then where do you go?
How can I tell you? I'm not Greek.
No, but then if you lose it, then where do you go?
I don't know. You become a citizen of the world. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not Greek. I would think you don't lose citizenship. They put you in prison until you agree to do it. I don't know.
Very good size. Hey, look, I have 50 people in staff, 100 people, 300 people, 500 people in staff that are depending on me. I can't just go to the military for 9 months or what.
You sound like he got called.
I mean, I understand his point of view. I get it.
Whatever the minimum is now, 12 months or something like that. So that's impossible, right? And that's something that used to stress me out quite a lot. When I turned the age of 18, this was like the number one thing that I was thinking about. At the time, I was making some very good money. I was on my way up in the world in terms of business and so on. I was thinking, hey, look, I've been building all this, and I really need to figure out what I'm going to do with the military. I had to force myself to sign up to a university here in Bulgaria and study something just so I can push back the military time. I think that's a huge negative. They need to figure something out for people that have built careers and are actually trying to do something with their lives. So the military
guys can be in college.
What?
No, like I think in other countries you can still be in college, and if you're called, you're called. No.
Yeah, but you don't have to go surplus in school. You can push it back.
Oh.
Like they're not gonna make you quit school and oh, now it's your time, quit school or no, they let you finish school still. But you know, at some point by the 26, you have to do it. If you keep getting excuses, at least in Lithuania how it used to be, if you keep getting excuses by the time you're 26, if you're still excused, you turn 27, that's it, you're free. I can't speak for Greece.
Here, it doesn't become disruptive in that way. The education system, again, it's yet again another system that is very, in my opinion, poorly designed, and a reason why a lot of people are getting out of Greece and to other countries to study. I feel like the education system focuses a lot on making sure that, like, it judges people on the final exams way too much. It's like why a bunch of like Greek students are having mental breakdowns during that period when you're giving the final exams.
Yeah, in Lithuania too, the final exams was everything. You know that. I never thought, honestly, I never thought about it. Didn't affect me. But I can see his point. Here, it's the final exam is not like SAT. It's not end all be all. It's important, but it's not like end all be all. So I think I agree with him too. I think if it is like Lithuania, it is a little too much emphasis on the finals exam.
In high school, because the final grades that you end up getting will unlock doors to what universities you can go. And if you end up performing poorly, then you either need to compromise and go to a school that you don't like, or you can try again next year. Either way, the way that the system is designed is definitely not good, and a bunch of people are leaving Greece and going, for example, again, Bulgaria is gaining quite a lot of students because of that, and people are going to the private universities here. Education and generally here in the private universities is quite decent. I wish we had these options in Greece, so a lot of people would just stay in Greece and that capital would then go to Greece and not to other governments. Something people ask me about quite often about Greece is, hey, look, is it a clean place and things like this? And I think that very much depends on like where. In my city, for example, the city of Drama, it's decent. I wouldn't say it's like out of the world. There's like places and parks.
I don't think it's fair to include this point because in every country you can find clean and not clean. So, some places are not that clean. Well, where is everything clean? Like you can find that in Paris, like, those videos. This is the Paris you see on TV and this is the real Paris, anywhere, and I'm not singling out Paris. I'm just using it as an example.
Arts that are very, very dirty. With that said, I have found that the last few years that Drama has been becoming a lot more beautiful. They have been taking care of that a lot more. If we talk about Athens and Thessaloniki, I would basically say the same tale. It really depends on where you are. But it's nothing like Sofia, for example. Sofia is like super dirty. It's relatively clean, but at the same time, I would say that, it can definitely be better. It's nothing crazy. This is something personal to me, but I hate the fact that stores are closing in the afternoons, and Sundays they're not working, and certain days of the week they close too early. Stuff like that I very strongly dislike. I don't know if I've been spoiled with other countries of the world where things are like open every single day. I very strongly dislike that. It's one of those things that freaking bothers me every time I go to Greece and I have to think about that. I hate it. Whereas when I'm in Bulgaria, when I'm in Dubai, when I'm in like some of these other places, I don't have to think about that.
Here, some people are upset that Chick-fil-A is closed on Sunday, and that's when they want Chick-fil-A.
It's, whatever business do what they do, but what's interesting is I kind of thought this was like a Europe thing, not just Greece. So for him to act in Bulgaria, it's not like that. That's more interesting to me than the, because at this point I got used to that. In Europe that's just how it is. So
I think he's like in a city that's like a city, and not like
Sofia. It's just
a suburb or like a town.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I think you have a point. Yeah, his Drama, the city from Greece, I think that's a small town, whereas Sofia is the capital of Bulgaria. So I think he's in a big city, and that's why it's
Because when we travel and we went to like a town, I was like, wow, 7:00, and we still traffic, people moving. The ghosts don't have opportunity to walk. Okay.
I need something, I'll go get it. I don't have to think about whether shops are open. There definitely is a refugee homelessness problem in Greece, especially Athens. I don't have something specific to suggest here with like, hey, solutions-wise and so on. I think that would be a very, very long conversation. It's definitely something that I have noticed. So when you go to Athens, and a few times that I've been to Athens, depending on where you are, there are places that have become even kind of unsafe because of how many refugees and how, like, you know, I don't mean to say that refugees equals unsafe, but there is increased violence in some of these streets and some of these places.
Once again, I think that's all across, at least back in 2021. I don't know how it is now, but at one point there was an issue in quite a few countries. Yeah.
And yeah, that's not good. Something I dislike with the fact that I co-run an Ingrid,
because the resources is not available to really deal with that.
Yeah, that was the problem in Lithuania too. They really, like Germany, for example, has much more resources to deal with that. Lithuania never had to deal with it, and all of a sudden they put this extra shit, you know, on them to deal with. They just weren't equipped.
Business is the fact that the citizenship path in Greece is not very reliable or not reliable at all. I know people that have been in Greece for decades, married to Greek people, have children who are considered Greek, and they're still having trouble getting the citizenship. Though on paper it's 7 years of residence in Greece, a lot of people are having trouble getting the citizenship. That's, in my opinion, a big problem. Greece has to figure out what to do to welcome people, not push them away. And that's like from every perspective, whether it's taxes and businesses, whether it's the education system and keeping the young people in the country, not letting them flood out, or giving the chance to people that have been in the country, probably have no criminal record, are law-abiding citizens and pay taxes and so on, to get the citizenship a lot easier. I think these are very, very important things. And of course, I think that goes hand to hand with the fact that taxes in Greece are very high. The entrepreneur community that, in my observation, is very small. And that's something obviously that I dislike, given the fact that I love connecting with local entrepreneurs. I mean, they don't have to be local. I mean, lots of people obviously fly in Greece and go to Greece temporarily, but generally the entrepreneur community is quite small in my opinion. I don't know how long I've been going for, so I think I'll leave it at that.
All right, interesting video. Of course,
Greece is
everything was his opinion, not a fact. But and things may have changed 3 years ago, but it was interesting nonetheless. A little bit different side than what we see in the other videos.
For sure. Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. And as always, share as much kindness as possible.